It's the holiday! Woo! Holiday!
Thanksgiving and Christmas. We are so excited because we get to eat all the healthy stuff.
That's not what we're doing. So, that is a great segue into why I'm already recording this video, because I'm actually not ready to start cooking yet. The first part of all holiday cooking, because holiday cooking is stressful. You have in-laws that you might not like. Personally, I love my in-laws, but I'm one of the lucky ones.
Same.
You've got wives that want to cook healthy and you want to eat like crap.
I got you, and I will have you for these videos.
Whatever. Anyway, I'm kidding. I didn't mean that. But so the first step is, when you're cooking for the holidays, make yourself a cocktail. So I'm going to make my cocktail so I can have a drink and relax. We have some technical difficulties for the camera. For you people, you're welcome. And so the cocktail I'm going to choose for this holiday is going to be grapefruit vodka.
And it looks pretty, and that's very important.
Grapefruit vodka and cream soda Zevia. I know what you're thinking. Probably doesn't sound great, but it is, and it's fantastic. And Zevia doesn't spike your blood sugar levels, so you don't get fat like if you're drinking this with Sprite or something. Now, granted, with what I'm about to cook, it doesn't matter. But for the most part,
I think. But if you also, this is not about health. This is like for real to make it look prettier, because I always think it's really important in a good glass, which I love that Chris is drinking out of the glass that says "Surviving Motherhood, One Glass at a Time."
bingo, bitches.
If you watch our channel and know us, we have a 2.5-week-old. So it's really funny. We can look like this and drink out of glasses like that and not care. But anyway, something really cute, I'm sorry, I have to add, is throw some like little strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, and they'll look really pretty.
I love her. Out of the kitchen.
Okay, bye.
So, now we've got our cocktail in hand. It's time to make pumpkin pie cheesecake. So, stay tuned. I'll make this fast. I won't waste a bunch of your time, but I'll show you how to make a delicious pumpkin pie cheesecake that is a true crowd pleaser. It's really freaking delicious. It does take a little bit of time to bake, because it's an hour in the oven and 6 hours cooling down, so you're gonna have to cook this one ahead of time. It stays good in the fridge for like 3 hours though. So let's get started. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Fit Girl and Fat Boy. As stated in my other videos where I'm solo, typically these are not going to be as healthy as Danielle would normally make it. So if you're looking for the most healthy stuff, probably not the one. With that said, if you're looking for something really delicious, this is probably going to be your go-to. So this is our video on how to make pumpkin pie cheesecake. It is a crowd pleaser. It wins all the time. Everybody loves it. It's fantastic. It's super easy to make. And one of the biggest tricks and tips for this recipe is that you want to start with an actual graham cracker crust, not one that you buy from the store, but one that you make. Super easy to make. There's only a couple ingredients. It's really, really simple, but there's one way to make it a lot easier than traditionally, right? So traditionally speaking, you would take 15 graham crackers and then you would put them in a bag and beat them to death, or hit them with a rolling pin, or whatever it is to get them to the crumbles. And then once all that labor-intensive work is done, you would start doing this recipe how we're about to do it. Or my preferred method, graham cracker crumb crumbles. These are awesome. These are already done. You don't have to do anything to it. You literally just open it up, pour it out, and you're good to go. So I use these. Full disclaimer, lazy, but I think they're delicious. I think it's way easier, and I think they're better quality. So you take 1.5 cups of those, which you see here, and you put it in a big mixing bowl. You take a half tablespoon of cinnamon. This is not technically on the menu, but it's a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. Very little on that. And then I chopped up just a little bit of vanilla bean. This is probably like maybe 1 to 1.5 inches of a vanilla bean. We're gonna put that in there. And then a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Most recipes call for white sugar. I'm a brown sugar type of guy. So brown sugar. And then what I'm gonna do when I get all that in is I'm gonna go ahead and mix this up before we put in our butter. You can put this in a big mixer. We have a big KitchenAid that I like to use, but honestly, it's not really super necessary on this. So just hit it with a fork, get it all nice and mixed up. Once you've got it all nice and mixed up, you're gonna take 7 tablespoons of butter. This is unsalted, just regular butter. And then once that's in there, again, just hit it with a fork until you get kind of a wet sand consistency. All right, so once this is all mixed up, you're gonna take butter and just kind of rub it in your 9-inch pie pan. Nice layer in there. Boom, good to go. So transfer in your crumbs. Shake it out. And this is kind of a personal preference on how much you want to put in here. I like it kind of thick, but if you do it too thick, it can kind of be a pain in the neck because then you don't have a lot of filling on top of it. So again, kind of personal preference. I probably do like, I don't know, maybe like that. Maybe like that. So once you get the base down, take it and just kind of hand by hand run it around the side. Because if you do it by just throwing it all in there, it'll be way too thick. Your pie will suck. Everyone will hate you and you'll be kicked out of Christmas forever, and you don't want that. You definitely don't want to be kicked out of Thanksgiving forever. Now, when this is done, which we basically are now, right? We're all the way around, everything's good. If you're gonna do a no-bake pie, then you don't have to do anything. You're done, you're finished. If you're gonna do a baked pie, then right now this step is put it in the oven, 350 degrees, 10 minutes, then take it out, let it cool, pour in your pie filling whenever you're ready, and then bake it like you would normally. But you don't have to bake this if you're doing a no-bake, like pumpkin pie cheesecake or something like that. So, pie crust, oven, 350 degrees, 10 minutes, because I'm going to be baking this cheesecake or pumpkin pie cheesecake, whatever you want to call it. So, oven 350, timer, 10 minutes. So, that is it for this step. Now we're actually going to go into making the pumpkin pie cheesecake itself.
So we're going to add 24 ounces of cream cheese. You'll want to blend this up before adding the rest of the ingredients, unlike this video. 15 ounces of pumpkin puree. This is 1.5 cups of brown sugar, a 1/4 cup of sour cream, and then finally a 1/4 cup of caramel sauce, homemade or store-bought. Blend well.
Now, as you can see, we've got this blended up. That's that first step. And now we're just gonna take in, because this is blended to the point where we're good to go. Like we're solid on this. And if you taste it at this point, it's already really tasty. I personally think we should add some salt, but we'll wait. So now we just have to blend in step number 2, which is going to be the eggs. And I'm not gonna bother going over the quantities because I'm gonna have Danielle put it up somewhere over here. But we're gonna put in the eggs, the cinnamon, nutmeg, the flour, the vanilla, and the cloves. So this we're gonna put in, we're just gonna blend it really quickly, just enough to get the flavor in there. Then we're gonna check it, we're probably gonna add a dash of salt, then we'll be good to go. We are gonna add a little bit of salt. Probably about a 1/2 teaspoon maybe. So now we're gonna transfer the contents of this bowl, which is the delicious goodness that we've been making, into this crust. Give it the old jiggle jaggle. Okay, perfect. And now we're going to throw this in the oven, 325 in the oven for an hour or until it sets up. So that's right. So we're gonna put that in there. After it comes out of the oven, it's going to be 6 hours cooling. But here's the trick. Don't fast forward through this part of the video. When you put this in the oven, when you get to the end of the hour, just turn the oven off and let it hang out. Like crack the oven a little bit to let a little bit of heat out, but just let it hang out. When you let it hang out for like 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, you can take it out and let it get to room temperature on the counter. After it gets to room temperature on the counter, then you can put it in the fridge to to cool for the next like 5 or 6 hours. The reason we're doing this is because when you do drastic temperature changes in cheesecakes, you get those big splits and cuts down it that are not very pretty. It's just aesthetics. It's still going to taste the exact same. But for the looks of the pie, no extreme temperature changes. Just let it kind of do its thing in the oven, do its thing on the counter, do its thing in the fridge. Then take it out. We're actually going to cut it up, and I'll probably do that tomorrow because it's getting a little late tonight, but we're actually going to cut it up, and then once we take it out, then we'll drizzle with the caramel sauce. Again, that's a looks thing, that's all presentation. Add the homemade whipped cream, serve it to whoever you're serving it to, and you win the cook-off. At least you should. So with the rest of this stuff, my plan is just eat it with a spoon. I don't know what you're gonna do with it, but last but not least, we're gonna do a homemade whipped cream. This is the game changer for any time you're doing stuff for the holidays or for family. This is one thing that can take your average baking or like not restaurant quality baking and really give it that extra pop, and it just goes a lot further than the stuff you buy in a can. There's only 3 ingredients: heavy cream, powdered sugar, and vanilla extract. So I halved this recipe. So normally what you would do is 2 cups or a pint of heavy cream. You would do a whole cup of powdered sugar and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. What I have, because I halved it, because this is actually, we're making this for a neighbor and I don't want to have too much, is 1 cup, half a cup, and 1 teaspoon. So we're gonna throw the cold heavy cream and all the rest of it in the cold bowl. We're gonna whip it up. It takes less than 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, and just spoon some into here and then show you on the camera what we're working with. Yeah, so as you can see, this is exactly what we're looking for. It stands up on its own. It is really tasty. Before, if you want, you can get a piping set, use that on there. But add this to anything. This changes everything. So let me know if you try this. Let me know if you make this and if you like it more. I will say that if you want to add a pinch of salt to taste, it can make a huge difference, but you just kind of have to experiment with that on your own. So yeah, as soon as this pie is out of the oven, we're gonna let it cool. I'll cut it up, make it all pretty with the caramel, throw some of the whipped cream on top, and we will be done with our pie video.